Thank you, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yes.
So, as she said, I'm Cheryl Kemp. I'm the nurse navigator, and all of you are family now. And you guys are especially family after the last session. Again, I just want to publicly thank everyone that was here, Detroit Coffee Lodge, San Bernardino Park Association, because you really surprised me with that birthday celebration. Thank you for acknowledging me. That was beautiful. And so we're more than friends. We're family now. But again, I am the nurse navigator from DMC Sinai Grace. And it's so wonderful to be here sharing with all of you all. And I want to apologize to you that Dr. Prince Eubanks couldn't be here today. Unfortunately, he had an emergency. And, I'm a little on the church side, so that word that says, be ye also ready. That's what the Bible tells us, and we have to be ready for whatever's going to come. So I'm here, and I'm going to do a little bit of his presentation, but he had more that he will tell you, and I'm sure he's going to be rescheduling. So for giving this time, forgive Dion, it kind of caught us off guard, but we're going to keep our commitment and make sure that we do what we're supposed to do and be in a caring community and inform you guys on some very important health subjects. So as you know, because you had the flyer, Dr. Eubanks is one of our gastroenterologists, which is a GI doctor. That's a doctor of the stomach and intestines of our digestive system. So last month, you heard me say that it was colorectal cancer screening month. I still have the flyers here with a QR code and some of the cards. If you're not up to date on your colorectal cancer screening, please see me. Colorectal cancer screening is something that we can't prevent, but at least with active screening, we can find out about it early. Anything we find out about early, there is the possibility of making sure that it doesn't advance. You already know our flyer says age 45 and older. Well, that is the guideline. But to be honest with you, if you have a family history of colorectal cancer or other cancers, share that with your doctor, because those are reasons to get this screening done a little bit early. One of the things that I've heard from you all is that feeling of fullness. Well, sometimes we have a natural feeling of fullness. Other times it's abnormal, but if you don't seek help, we won't know. The main thing is that we want you to come to the doctor. We need to establish that relationship. You need to know what your gut health is, because one of the things I always talk about in preventative care is what we do to this machine that God gave us. What we put in comes out. Sometimes what we put in is not best for us. So under Dr. Prince Eubanks, as a GI doctor, he's going to talk about from the tongue to the tail, just to be nice. And any problems that occur in those areas, he's the expert. But the one thing you have to do, you have to be screened. We don't know anything by looking at each other, getting word of mouth, making a judgment, running to the pharmacy. There's no way for us to assess our gastric system without a look inside. None of us will know what's going on with our GI system without a colon cancer screening. And you already know that includes a colonoscopy. Oftentimes they'll do an EGD, which means that we look at the upper area. But either way, we need to know the status where you stand at in order to do something about it. A lot of things is just there with age, and again, with what we put into our bodies. We do this to ourselves. We don't have enough roughage. Roughage is all the vegetables, all those lentils, peas, greens, beans, cornbread, grits, oatmeal, things to keep us regular. We tend to eat a high fatty diet, a lot of starch, a lot of cheeses, a lot of pasta. That is terrible on breaking down. And we're not going to talk about the peanuts, the nachos, all of the chips. That does not break down well. Well, where does it go? Goes inside, and it doesn't come out timely, and we get worried. Think about your GI tract as a long map. It's a road map from your mouth to the outside. It's a lot of twists and turns. It's a lot of crevices. Anybody who's traveled across country, you know it's a lot of crevices, especially if you're going to the south. I'm from the south, so there's a lot of back roads. That's the way our intestines is. Anything gets stuck in here, we don't know it. By the time you find out, it's already a problem. If you're having a fullness, if you're having pain, God forbid you're having bleeding. and that means passing blood or vomiting blood. It's already a problem. As a healthcare professional, we're here to see you before it's a major problem. It's not to say that problems won't occur, but we need to see you before it occurs.
Is there an age that you start taking colonoscopy? Because I turned in my 80s and I had nothing done, and they said, I don't see you anymore.
You know what? I'll speak to the doctor about that, because even if they don't want to do a colonoscopy, just like the gentleman said, there are Cologuards. There are a lot of products on the market now that wasn't previously available. But if you have a problem, guess what? It's pretty much a problem. And we don't want a problem to occur. If something is happening, we want to be proactive. So speak to your doctor about how could you screen without the full colonoscopy. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the Cologuard is a self-test. That's the big thing. So with the self-test, Cologuard is one of the brand names, but they have lots of them. So Cologuard is a test where the doctors can give you at home. Sometimes when you talk to Medicare, they may mail you out different ones. And you take a sample of your own stool, and you don't have to do any prep. You take a sample of your stool, and you mail it back into a lab, and they do testing to see if you have any DNA or anything in there to indicate that there's a problem. The colonoscopy is the full test, and I know I was speaking with somebody earlier. Sometimes it's hard to prep for those tests. That prep can be a little bit abrasive, but remember, we can't see anything inside of us. Once we put it in our mouth, we don't see it again. When we see it again, it's in another capacity. So we need to be squeaky clean inside. I don't like to clean up myself, but I want to be aggressive, because if there's anything there, I want it to be seen. And it happens. We hear this all the time. You know, we usually hear about the celebrities. But guess what? Those celebrities are us. Each one of us have somebody in our family that's affected by colon cancer one way or the other. Even if it's an abnormal colonoscopy, someone is affected. But if we don't get our screening, then what do? When it's a problem, when you're passing blood, when your belly is aching, when you're losing weight, how many of you all have heard the doctor say, have you recently lost some weight unexpected? But guess what? Some people come to the doctor and say, I've been losing weight. As soon as you say, I've been losing weight, our ears go up. Because if you're losing weight, there's a problem. Especially if you haven't been dieting. If you're passing blood, let's hope it's some hemorrhoids. But when you start having these major symptoms, there is a problem. We don't want the problems. We don't want the problem. We want to be proactive. We want to be preventative. We don't need the problems. We have enough going on with life like this. Now, I'm never going to say, don't bellyache about doing a clean out for a colonoscopy. Don't bellyache about, what's that other thing? I need somebody to drive me there and stay there while I get this done. And, you know, God forbid you don't have anybody close to you, because that's kind of personal. So now you got to be uncomfortable, sitting on a towel, going to this procedure, going through it, coming back home with somebody, and they looking at you like, oh, so here's the thing to do. Get you a colonoscopy buddy. I tell people, get you a mammogram buddy. Anything that you need to do on this list, get you a partner. So as a nurse navigator, one of the things I do when I'm scheduling procedures for people, and they say, oh, I'm going to have to ask my sister, oh, I'm going to have to ask my brother. Hey, have your brother had here? If not, have them call. You want to make a mammogram party? Let's do that. Have a colonoscopy party. We both take off the same day, a week apart. You have yours, and then I'm there to take you for mine. We can do it. We can do this. But never think about that you have to do this alone. I think that's where our shame is at. These things happen, and we don't want to talk about it. So you guys see how freely the doctors come out here and share this information with you? We need to talk about it. We need to stop being ashamed about it. This is real life. This is our life right here. And the real truth is, we only have one life.